Well, hello everyone. This is Ray Morales, and we are here doing the NBVO Tech Talk Thursday. How's that, David?
Much, much better. And who am I to judge?
And today, our guest, and we are happy to have her again, is Neva Fairchild. And Neva, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Not a problem. We are so eager to hear what you have to tell us today. So, without any further ado, let me just do a couple of things here. Everybody that's on board with us tonight, please mute your phones or mute your devices, and we will have a question and answer period after Neva's done presenting. So, with that, go ahead, Neva, take over.
Thank you so much, Ray. Good evening, everyone.
Even
I'm Neva Fairchild with WayAround. I have the pleasure of being Director of Business Development. And I am thrilled with the WayAround product as a user and as a useful product for other people who are blind or have low vision. I have always been low vision, and now I am totally blind. I have an inherited retinal disease called Stargardt disease that doesn't usually end up as with for a person to be totally blind, but I'm special and I like to do things different. And so my all of my light perception disappeared sometime in the last 10 years. I honestly didn't notice when because I was so used to doing things non-visually because I couldn't trust what my eyes were telling me. How many of you have ever had a product in your hand that feels like lots of other things in your kitchen? Like right now, I'm holding a bottle of spice. And spice bottles and spice cans, depending on what you buy, all feel the same, don't they?
texture.
And
Yep.
you have to ask somebody, what is this? Or you have to take the top off and take a big old sniff. And God help you if it's pepper, because that's miserable. With WayAround, you do not have to ask, what is this, more than once. Because you can affix a way tag, which is what we call our labels. And we have 7 different styles of labels. And you can use your smartphone, either your iPhone, Android phone, or Blind Shell 2 or 3, to create information on that tag by dictating using your on-screen keyboard or your numerical keyboard if it's Blind Shell 2 or 3, or a Bluetooth keyboard that is connected, or your refreshable braille display that is connected. You have different ways to get information into the label so that the next time you pick up that bottle, you use your smartphone to tap the tag with the free WayAround app, and it will read aloud to you or display it in large print or in refreshable braille, depending on what accessibility features you choose, what works best for you. And all of a sudden, now you know exactly what is in that container. The variety of tags that WayAround offers is very different than any other labeling system. Some of you may be familiar with the Pen Friend. Now, they have different shapes and sizes, but most of their tags are stickers. They do have some magnets, and they also have some iron-on clothing tags. If you're going to iron them on, you better sew them on too, because about 3 washings and they're all in the bottom of your washer or dryer. But the other thing about the Pen Friend, and I was a Pen Friend user, and I still have a Pen Friend, I haven't killed all of them yet, is that if you drop that Pen Friend, or it stops working because it's old, or you lose it, all of your Pen Friend labels are now blank because the information was stored inside the Pen Friend. Now, if it's a real Pen Friend, there's a little cable that comes with it. You can attach it to your computer and you can copy all of those recordings over into a folder in your computer. And if you have to get a new Pen Friend, and you're technically savvy enough to do all of that, then you can copy those recordings back into a new pin friend, and voila, your labels work again. I'm pretty techie, and I've never bothered to do that. It's a pain in the neck, in my estimation. When you create a WayAround label, it is stored on your phone, but it's also stored in our cloud storage. It isn't taking up room in your iCloud account. It isn't causing iCloud to say, hey, you need to buy more storage. It's on our nickel. It's in our servers, and it's encrypted. So we can't read your labels. And they are private to you because you create an account in the WayAround app, and only you can read your labels. Now, when they're stored in the cloud and your iPhone, Android phone, or Blind Shell 2 or 3 phone needs to be replaced because it's broken, because you lost it, because it's old and you just want a new one, all you do is open up the WayAround app, and all of those labels that are stored up in the cloud come raining down right into your phone. And you're back in business. I want to go over the different kinds of labels that we have and some of the ways you can use these labels. Now, we call them way tags. You don't have to, they're labels. We have two kinds of stickers. A round sticker that goes on anything except metal, and a square sticker that goes on anything and metal. So you could use the stickers any way you want to if you just remember square goes on metal. So say you want to label the shelves in your garage that are those metal shelves that everybody has, right? And they've got Rubbermaid bins on them. You could use a round sticker on the Rubbermaid bin, but you could also use a square sticker on the edge of the shelf for the bin that's right above it. And then you don't have to wonder, where does this Rubbermaid go? Where did I have it? Where can I remember it is? I also use the different style stickers on my spices. I use round stickers on the tops of the bottles for my baking spices. I use square stickers, even if it's a bottle, and on the McCormick square cans if it's a savory spice. Square savory, SS. That helps me remember. So I start digging around in my spice basket and I come across something that has a square sticker on it, and I'm baking cookies. I know that's not the spice I need. I don't even have to bother using the app to read what is in that canister because it isn't what I want. When I come to a round sticker and I'm baking, I use my WayAround app to read it, and then I know the difference between my cinnamon, my nutmeg, my allspice, etc. Two other kinds of way tags we have are buttons. One is smaller. It's about the size of 2 dimes stacked together, and it has 2 holes in the middle, just like a shirt button has 2 holes. You can sew this button into your clothing. I personally like to sew it on the side seam down by the hem, so I get about 3 or 4 layers of material that I can hook my needle and thread through, do a couple of loops, and it's not going anywhere. The button is safe to go through the washer at any temperature water, to go through the dryer at any temperature dryer setting, and to the dry cleaners through dry cleaning solution. I will warn you that you need to tell your dry cleaners about the buttons and show them to them and tell them these are safe in dry cleaner solution. Don't remove them. I've heard horror stories of people who took their things to the cleaners and they got their clean clothes back on hangers with nice plastic coverings, and they also got their buttons back in a paper cup, all clipped off, because the dry cleaner was concerned that it would be damaged if it went through the process. It won't. The other kind of button is a little bit bigger. It's about the size of 1/4, maybe a tad thicker than 1/4, but not as thick as 2/4. And it has a large oval hole in the middle of it. It's about the size of a dried bean. And that's so you can affix this button to things by using items like a chenille stem, or as we used to call them, pipe cleaners. And it slides right through the hole. The button is dangling. This is a 6-inch piece of pipe cleaner. And now I have enough room to put this through a handle on a jug or around the top of a bottle of syrup or something like that. Twist the chenille stem a couple of times, and then that is going to stay there. When I use up that bottle of syrup or whatever was in that jug, I simply untwist the chenille stem, and I keep labels that I have made for consumable products in a little pail it's like a wishing well pail. It's cute, decorative, and it's about the size of a coffee cup. And I drop my buttons in there, I drop my magnets in there. I even put stickers in there, and only I stick it to the inside so they don't stick to other stickers, so that I can reuse them. I try not to use stickers on consumables very often, but our adhesive is pretty strong and you can reuse it. And if you do reuse it and it's not sticky enough, you just put a piece of tape over the top of it, like painter's tape or clear sealing tape, and you can still feel the sticker, and most importantly, your phone can still read the sticker through the tape. Here's another idea for the large oval hole button. This is about a 5-inch silicone rubber band. It makes a nice big hole. I put the band through the hole, then I pull the band through itself. That makes a lark's head knot. Any Navy guys or gals in the room? And then this is a nice big stretchy circumference that I could put around a bag of frozen food in the freezer. I could put it around a box. I could put it around a pail. You can put this around a lot of things. I recommend the silicone rubber bands because office rubber bands that you buy at the office supply are going to dry up and crack and break. And so let's say you've marked 3 or 4 things in a cabinet and you go in there, you don't use them very often, and you go in there and 2 of them have broken and the tags are laying on the shelf. And now you don't know which one went with which. So you got to do some more investigating. You can use a twisty tie, like this one is kind of round and rubbery. It came on a cable that I got, so I keep it in my kit. This is just a regular old bread wrapper paper with a wire in the middle. That will work with the large oval hole button. Here's Velcro that's stick-on, and it's a square, I think, or a round. Yeah, it's a square. So it's sticky side on one, loopy side on the other, sticky on the back. You stick one to the thing you want to label, you stick the other to the large oval hole button, and then the Velcro keeps it on the package that you want to keep it on. Certainly last but not least are a couple of really easy things. The ponytail holder, like ladies put their hair up in ponytails. It's elastic, but it's kind of cloth wrapped. And it doesn't break like the rubber bands from the office supply store. So again, you put it through the hole and then get it so you've got a loop on both sides, and then you stick one loop through the other loop and pull it tight. And now I've got a small elastic. This could go around the top of the shampoo bottle. Again, water won't hurt these. These are waterproof. The stickers are water resistant. And then, of course, you could always use a safety pin. And I'm going to show you how I use a safety pin when I start demonstrating some of the tags I have. Those are our 2 buttons. This is a magnet. It's square because it goes on metal. And it's flexible magnetic material. Excuse me, but I don't recommend you put it on the side of a can. Cans are curved, and it's only going to stick so much. I put it on the top of a can. If you could slide it under the pop top, do it, and that way it's really secure. But I have a can over here that has a magnet on it. I'm holding that can upside down and I'm shaking it, and that magnet is not letting go. It is sticking right there. The magnet is white on one side and black on the other so that you can use contrast against the surface you are putting it on if you can still see contrasting colors. The last two kinds of tags are our way clips. These are overgrown plastic paper clips. One has a round sticker, so it's round top. One has a square sticker, so it's square top. So you can tell the difference. Square on metal, round on anything but metal. And then the bottom half of the paper clip is a solid plastic around the edge, but it has two tangs, a tang coming down from the top middle of where the sticker is, and one coming up from the bottom middle of the clip. And that means that you can put it on something like a file folder or this booklet. I have it pushed on there, and the sticker part half and the top tang are behind, and the rest of the outline of the bottom of the way clip and the bottom tang is on the front. And it's not coming off. I'm holding it by the top of the way tag and I'm shaking it. Okay, well, I shook it loose. Okay, fine. It usually stays. I guess I was too vigorous. But it does usually stay. And definitely if it's just standing on top of a file folder like that, it's going to stay. Okay, those are our 7 kinds of tags. Now, because that bottom part of the way clip is closed, you can use all of those same methods for the large oval hole button. With this bottom part, you can scoop through it with a safety pin, you can put a chenille stem through it, and the bottom or the top tang comes down. It's an upside down T, and I like to put the hair elastic around that upside down T so it kind of stays in place there in the middle. It isn't going to slip off. And then I put the rest of the rubber band around this metal can. And of course I used a square top. And that way it sits kind of flush against the can. And I can tell my Lysol from my oven cleaner from my Raid. Because believe me, if I want to clean my oven, I do not want to spray Raid in it. So those are the 7 kinds of tags. I challenge you to stump the chump, which means me, I'm the chump, and you can try to stump me with asking me during question and answer, how would I tag, and you fill in the blank. And I'd be willing to bet you a scoop of ice cream the next time we are at the same conference that I can figure out a way how you can tag whatever you want to tag. So let's take a look at a couple of tags that I've created. I have a Ziploc bag that's plastic that it's kind of like the bags that a lot of snack foods come in these days. You can get a bag like this with Reese's peanut butter cups in it, with pretzel bites, lots of different snacks. And this doesn't happen to be a snack. Well, for my plants it's a snack. It's Miracle Grow. But I want to show you how easy it is to scan a tag, and I have affixed this large oval hole button to the top part of this Ziploc bag by putting the pointy end of the safety pin through the plastic that's above the Ziploc so that I don't break the airtight seal below the Ziploc. So I can still seal it and it doesn't get air in it. And then the button just dangles there. It's super easy to find. You pick up the bag and run your fingers and there it is right at the top. So the WayAround app is what you need to read a tag, and as I said, WayAround Tag and Scan is a free app. You go to the App Store on iPhone, you go to Google Play on Android, and it's built into the apps list on Blind Shell 2 and 3. I have my app in the top left corner of my home screen, so I can get to it quickly, but I can also just say, open WayAround.
WayAround, heading level 1.
And I was pressing the Siri and activating Siri to do that. And I have voiceover turned on because I cannot read the screen. And I'm going to turn it way up so you can see it. Is there anybody in the audience that can benefit from me turning off my screen curtain so you can see my screen?
I don't know. Right?
Okay, well, how about if I do that?
There's
Speech
just a
off.
couple of us in here,
Speech
so go
on.
ahead.
Screen curtain off.
Okay, so I turned screen curtain off. Can you see anything about my screen, Ray?
I see a WayAround logo.
Okay, great. So that's the opening screen. That's what comes up every time you open the app new. Now, if you left it open and it's there in your active apps, it'll look like the last tag you scanned when you open it. But always in the bottom left corner is a read button, and in the bottom right corner is a create button. And once I've read a tag, in the middle on that bottom edge of the screen is going to be an edit button. So I'm going to touch the read button.
Read button.
And then I'm going to double tap with one finger anywhere on the screen.
Ready to scan. Ready to scan. Heading.
And it tells me it's ready to scan, and who knows why VoiceOver repeats things, but it does. So now I touch the top of my iPhone to the button.
Web dialog. Blank way tag. Select the create button to write information to this way tag.
Wonder why it's blank. How strange. I'm going to try that again.
Read.
It
read
should not be.
button.
It should not be
Alert.
blank. I
Ready
use
to
this for
scan.
demos
Heading.
all the time.
Ready to scan. Heading. Web dialog. Blank.
Oh, goodness gracious. My bad. I forgot.
Close.
I am logged out. Okay, well, I'm going to show you how to create.
Read.
So I recently became an administrator on a WayAround account, which gave me more things I could do, but I forgot to log back into my personal account. So now you've seen a demo of what happens when you try to read a tag that I create with your phone. It wouldn't read it. That's what it would tell you. So I'm going to create.
Create button. Create way tag. Heading level 1.
Now, on the create screen, you have a couple of options.
Way cloud connected. Description. Double tap to add.
So you heard it say WayCloud connected. That means it's saving my tags to the cloud. When you first open WayAround, it'll say WayCloud disconnected, but if you give it about 10 seconds, it connects. It's just using your Wi-Fi to send a signal to the mothership, and then the mothership sends a signal back and says, yes, I see you, darling. I'm glad you're here. And then I swiped one more time and I got to a description field. Now this edit box is just like any edit box, like a text message or an edit box in a email or an edit box on any website. So I'm going to double tap with one finger.
Insertion point at end.
And I hear insertion point at end, which tells me it's really editing. Now, I could use my on-screen keyboard and slowly type what I want, but I'm going to save time and I'm going to dictate. Miracle Grow.
Inserted Miracle Grow.
Okay. And then I'm going to swipe once towards the forward or next or right, whatever you think of it as. I'm going from left to right.
Enter the text you want written to the way tag. Multi-line text field.
Okay. And so I can
enter the text you want written
enter more information here.
Insertion point at end. Multi-line text field.
Use 1 packet in 2 gallons of water, period.
Period. Inserted. Use 1 packet in 2 gallons of water.
And now I'm going to
Template. Select access level. Heading public. Switch button. On.
take it off.
Organization. Right to way tag. Button. Alert.
And now I
Ready to
found the
scan.
right
Heading.
to way
Ready to
tag
scan.
section.
Heading.
And I'm going to touch it.
Success. Way tag written.
And it tells me success, way tag
Use 1
written.
packet in 2.
Now, the nice thing is when I get close enough to the tag that my phone sees it or recognizes it, I hear a dink-dink sound, I feel a vibration, and then VoiceOver starts reading. Okay? Now, you might say to me, Neva, gee whiz, why not just use Be My Eyes or Seeing AI to read the text on this package? Okay? Well, I'll tell you why. For the first time, that's exactly what I do. And I try to get all the information I want from that. If I can't, I go find my sighted spouse and he helps me out. But every time I want to know what's in this bag, if it's in a shelf with 3 or 4 other bags like it, I want to be able to access that information quickly. And with Seeing AI, even to get Seeing AI ready to start reading takes about 10 to 15 seconds, okay? And with Be My Eyes, you go into Be My AI, you hit the button to take a picture, and and then it says, your image is blurry, get farther away, or get closer, or hold steady, or get more light. Dang it, come on, I just want to know. So with WayAround, I hit read.
Button. Alert, ready to scan, heading,
And
ready to
I-
scan, heading, use 1 packet and 2 gallons of water.
And
Scanner ready, press
so,
the read button.
this is my learning curve. That first description that I put in where I said Miracle Grow, I forgot that that's not visible to the general public. So all you heard was use 1 packet in 2 gallons of water. And why did I put that? Because later I'm going to pull this out when I want to water my plants and fertilize them, and I'm going to pull that little packet out and I'm like, does that go in 1 gallon? Does that go in 5 gallons? I don't know. I don't remember. And so having little tips like that on your tags about how much you use, what you use it in, when you use it, that type of thing can be super helpful. So I want to talk a little bit before we get to Q&A about how can I use tags in my life. I've given you several examples as I've been demonstrating the tags and showing you the products. But let's talk about things that you might not think of. For example, the Way clips have that plastic part at the bottom and then the tag is at the top. If you're a container gardener or you have herbs growing on your windowsill, you can slide this little tag down into the dirt up to the middle, right against the edge of the pot so it's not going to get knocked over. And then when you water your plants, it's not going to hurt that the tag gets wet. It's fine. It just can't soak in water. So you don't want to stick it in tag first. You want to stick it in bottom first. And then you can put information like, is this my basil? Is this my parsley? Or is this my sweet corn or my, I don't know what looks like sweet corn, probably nothing. But until it comes up, you still want to know that that row in your big garden outside is sweet corn, and this one is green beans, and the next one is sweet peas. And the nice thing is you can hot glue this Way tag to your garden stakes. You could zip tie it to your garden stakes. You could mirror or gorilla glue it, however you want to affix it to a garden stake, and it's going to do fine. Rain, shine, sleet, and snow. It's not going to hurt the tag at all. The other kinds of things I like, the unusual ways to use is think about your garden shed or your utility shed, whatever you want to call it. You may have tools in there that it would be nice to know the difference between the 3/8 and the 5/16. And it would be nice to know the closed box that holds the Allen wrenches versus the socket set. So depending on what kind of a case it's in, you could use a square sticker if it's metal. You could use a round sticker if it's not. Find a flat place that is going to allow the most adhesive to stick, and put it on the top or side of the case so that when it's sitting where it lives, you can hold your phone close to the sticker without pulling the whole thing off the shelf. Most people don't need these kind of labels because they can walk into their shed, look around and say, oh, there's my socket set, because they're using their vision. But for those of us who can't use our vision, to make it as efficient as possible so you don't have to pick it up and set it aside to scan it and pick it up and set it aside to scan it, just makes finding what you want a little bit easier. You could put stickers or tags of another kind on the front of your tool chest so that you know what's in each drawer. The Rubbermaid bins that I was talking about before, on that tag that you put on the shelf, or if you want to on the Rubbermaid, it's legal. Nobody's going to take them off. You can put in general what's in there, like sprinkler system parts. I bet if you have a sprinkler system, you have extra parts around for it. Or you could put detailed information, like this is my fertilizer packages, or this is my pesticide products. And you could even list what you've got in there so that if you're not sure, do I have any 7 dust, you can tap that tag and it'll list out everything that's in there, and then you can go inside and find the 7 dust, either by feel, because it doesn't feel like any of the other packaging of the pesticides you use, or because you also labeled it. I also like the Way clips for backyard work. So if you have a fence or a deck, you know that it needs to be power washed about every year, maybe every 2 years, depending on where you live. If you live in Lubbock, Texas, you better do it about every month. And then you also need to stain it or seal it, whatever your choice is, about every 3 years. And can you remember when you stained and or sealed your fence or your deck last to make it, live a little longer? I sure can't. And so you can use a staple gun to attach one of these tags like under the railing of the deck, so it's mostly protected from rain. If it gets wet, it doesn't hurt it. But you also don't want it to be like stapled to the side of your house. What the heck is that? Everybody's going to be asking, And then you can put that kind of information on it. The last time, when you stain and seal, go ahead and create one. And then a year or two from now, you can read that tag and say, I wonder, when was the last time? And there's the information right there. You can even put the brand and the color of the stain you bought. And so if because stain and paint, it doesn't last forever. And then you can get matching, or you can say, you know what, that wasn't dark enough. I want to get something darker. So I'm going to go to the paint store and I'm going to say, hey, I used, walnut and I want something darker. What else is darker? And if you're a woodworker and walnut is a really dark wood, please forgive me because I don't know beans about woodworking. But I do know how to keep track of information. One of my favorite things to do, and this is just good maintenance for your home, is I put stickers on my appliances. My microwave, my dishwasher, my oven, my oven and stovetop are built together. They didn't used to be, so I used to have one on my stovetop. My washer, my dryer, my hot water heater. And what I put on those stickers is the name brand, the model name and number if there's both, the serial number, and then I also use custom blocks for text to put information like the manufacturer's warranty service number. So when it goes out, I can immediately call. I don't have to go digging for that booklet. And when it's out of warranty, which doesn't happen, all that slowly, the appliance store that works on my brand, and once I've had them out, I make sure I have their name and their number, and I also put the date in a text field and what they did so that I remember when it stops working again. I look at that, I scan that tag, and I get all that information that they have to have before they'll schedule an appointment to come out and work on it. And I can say, you guys were out here 3 months ago and you replaced the motherboard for this dishwasher. And if that's what's out, I sure do think this is under warranty, and I want you to make sure whether it is or not before you make the trip out here. I wouldn't remember that it had only been 3 months ago. Time these days is pretty ephemeral. I say, just the other day, and it was, 2 years ago. And I say, 3 years ago, and it was only 18 months ago. And if it's a 2-year warranty, I just cheated myself out of 6 months worth of warranty. So I want that information at my fingertips. Now my husband is retired now, so he's home and he can crawl around on the floor and find that serial number, but it's not that easy for him and it's not that much fun. And when he was working, I had to wait to call until he was home. And by golly, when the hot water heater is out at 10 o'clock in the morning, I really don't want to wait till tomorrow before I can call for repair or service. And so I need that information where I can get to it. One last thing, the great way to keep track of what is in your breaker box and what it goes to is to mark it with a WayAround tag, probably a square sticker because most breaker boxes are metal. Maybe they're making plastic ones these days and I just don't know it. And then you can put a text box and say things like, there are 2 columns of 7 breakers. And then another text box that says, left column number 1, living room. Left column number 2, kitchen. Left column number 3, bedroom number 1, or master bedroom, or however you want to keep track of where all of these breakers go to. And some electricians do that. They did when they replaced our breaker box for us. They do it in print, and that's wonderful for everybody but me. And so a WayAround sticker can save you a lot of heartache when you're trying to figure out which one do I turn off because I want to replace the outlet in the living room, or which one do I turn off because I want to replace the ceiling fan in the bedroom. And it's important that you know which breaker is which. I want to open it up for questions now, and I probably have skipped something, and that's left a question in your mind, and sometimes I skip things on purpose, but not always. Sometimes I just forget. So please unmute, and I don't know, Ray, do you want them to raise their hand or just ask?
Yeah, just raise your hand and I'll try and direct traffic.
Okay, great.
First challenge.
Don't be shy.
I'm not gonna be shy. Never that.
Go ahead, David.
Neva, I noticed you didn't mention it. You might have, and I may have overlooked it, went over my head, but did you mention anything about how to label silverware formally, when you're doing formally, or even if you want to use a fork? I know you can tell the difference by the feel of the spoon.
Yeah.
But whether or not I guess you have to use your hands as texture feeling to figure out if it's a teaspoon, tablespoon.
Yeah, you could. You could also put a sticker or a button or affix a way clip with a zip tie or something in the tray that holds them. Okay? That way you don't have to feel my fork before you put it at my place for me to eat on.
Good point.
Not that I think your hands are dirty, but people are squishy about that sometimes, right?
Yeah, well, even if you were wearing gloves, you could do that.
You could. Yeah, I have those sorter trays in my silverware drawers so that things stay in their own little lane, and you could put a tag at the front of the tray on the bottom, and then just move the silverware to the side with one hand and touch your phone to the tag with the other. Okay, I've thought of 2 things I haven't told you, but I'm going to let questions go on. And I'm going to remember these 2 things. I promise I am.
Kelly, are you raising your hand?
Yes, sir. And I apologize if you did say this and I missed it, but can you reuse the tags for something different? Like if you wanted to change, like if you had 1-inch screws in a jar and you had a tag on it, could you change it to 1.5-inch screws?
You absolutely can. You can reuse any of the tags by editing them. So let's say it was 1-inch screws and now you're going to put 1.5-inch. You just have to edit that tag. You read it, You go to the bottom of the screen. In the middle, there's an edit button. You tap on that edit button, and then you go up to the edit field and you add 1/2. And that's all you have to change, and then you rewrite the tag, and bingo, you've got the tag you want. If there's a lot of information that you're changing and it's not worth deleting it all, you can just create a new tag and write it to that old tag, and it erases all the old information and puts all the new information on. And you can reuse them as many times as you want. In fact, we've been told that these NFC tags can be read 10,000 times. But we don't believe that. And so now we're up to 43,000 times on one tag. 43,000 times. I don't think I'll live long enough to read anything 43,000 times.
And I would just like to say thank you for coming on. When you were talking about tools and mechanics and woodworking, you sold me.
I thought that might grab your attention at least. And I'm serious. There are blind people all over this country using it for their hobbies, like woodworking and carving and furniture making and all of those kinds of things. And just for general home maintenance, doggone it. If I had a socket set, they would be labeled. I don't have a socket set. My husband does. But they would be labeled, and I would put on the tag that the bolt and nut on the back of the whatever that's always coming loose uses which size. Because every time he has to tighten something, it's trial and error. Which one is it, Why not just keep a list so you're like, you're going to have to tighten it again. Stuff gets loose all the time.
Hey, Dennis, were you raising your hand?
No.
Okay. Anybody else?
I had a question, but I can't think of it now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you the two things I thought of that I forgot to tell you. Okay? And one is that the VA will provide WayAround tags to veterans through your VIST or your BROS. And they'll provide you training on how to get started. All right? And then, you remember I told you that you have to create an account when you get the app, and that account is personal to you, so that if I come to your home, I can't read your tags. If you come to my home, you can't read my tags. Now, if you're coming to stay and you want to help me cook, by golly, I'll give you my account so you can help me cook, okay? But that's how you do it for people to help you create tags, or if you happen to live with another blind person. You simply create an account and you both log in to the same account. As many people as you want can be logged into your account. You can have a party with 10 people helping you create tags, okay?
Nice.
And that'll get it done in a big hurry. And when you look at your closet and you think, oh my God, all those shirts, all those slacks, all those skirts, all those dresses, I'll never get all those tagged. Having buddies to help is a big deal. And if you're not crazy about sewing and you have a dry cleaner that has a tailor, which I think all of them do, you can take, and I do it probably a dozen or, no more than probably 20 items at a time, or maybe 25 since our tags come in packs of 25. So take 25 items and 25 buttons, and you say to the tailor, I want you to sew these buttons on the inside, on the right or left side seam, I don't care, you choose, right by the hem. So if it's a shirt, it's kind of by your hip. If it's a skirt, for us ladies, it's by our calf. If it's slacks, it's down by our ankle, right? That way it doesn't bug you. If you put it in the collar, it's gonna, or the waistband, it's gonna bug the heck out of you. So put it on a side seam, and when they're hanging in your closet, you don't have to turn the garment inside out to tap the button. You just feel down that side seam, find the button, and your phone will read through the material. It'll read the tag through the material.
I apologize for whoever did that.
That's okay.
I have one more question, then I'll. But do you get a lot of sighted people who want just to help them organize themselves?
Absolutely. You know the flower pot trick I told you about putting it down in the edge of a container, a flower pot that you've got a
Yeah.
plant in? I got that from a lady who has over 300 indoor plants in her home. All I got to say is that it's a well oxygenated home, okay? And she uses a way clip in every one of those plants to remember not only the name that we call it, okay, aloe vera, but the what is it? The Latin name, the plant, the fancy name, right? I don't know what it
Right.
is. And
Latin.
then what kind of water, how much water it needs, how much light it needs, how much fertilizer it needs, and the last time she both watered and fertilized it. And as she does that, she updates each tag with the new date. And that way it is always right there when she wants to check. Gosh, that isn't looking good. I need to check that. And sure enough, she missed watering it.
Oh, wow.
And
That
she-
sold me.
Over 300 plants. I have trouble keeping one alive, I just got to tell you.
Well, that sold me on using it as plants because it would be a good idea to know if you had somebody babysitting your plants, you could call them, hey, these plants need to be pruned. Just like you say, I need the dog watered or fed, but the plants need to be watered if you don't mind watering today, or put them in open the sunshade, or that's some
Yep.
sun.
Yep.
That's pretty creative.
The other thing, I didn't say this, but the buttons I use in my over-the-counter medications. I get all my my prescription medications, from a mail-order pharmacy that puts Braille on them, okay? But you can't buy supplements that way. They just don't come that way. So I take a button and program it with, this is my CoQ10, take it once a day at night, and I spit that onto the tag. Can't think of the word. Create a tag with that on it, and I drop it down in the bottle with all the little capsules. And then when I get to the end of that bottle, I know what I'm out of. I know what I need to either reorder or put on the grocery list or pull out of my stash. And if I'm not sure, geez, was I taking this at night or in the morning, I can check. And it's very helpful. And they last forever. You finish that bottle, you just dump the button out into your hand and throw it in the new bottle, and it sinks to the bottom. And if you need to read in the middle before it's almost empty, you just shake that bottle and then put it I lay my phone down, I put the read on, and then I rotate it around until the button gets close enough and it reads it. And I meant to tell you this earlier too. So the read button that I keep talking about is only on iPhone because Apple locks down the NFC reader. It does not want it to be active all the time because it doesn't want your phone accidentally reading NFC tags that are in the world. Okay? So read is to activate it on the iPhone only. On the Android, they don't care. They're happy for you to use the NFC anytime. And it is located on the back of your phone, not the end of your phone, the top end. Like if you think of where you plug your iPhone in is 6 o'clock, the spot on your iPhone that will read the tag is exactly opposite that. And you can put that skinny edge or the front glass or the back glass against the tag and it'll read it. But on the Android, it's on the flat, big back part of the phone, and it's somewhere around the middle depending on the brand Android you have. And that's true for Blind Shell 2 and 3 because they are Android phones as well. It's in the middle, near the middle on the back. So you just lay your phone flat down on that tag and it'll read.
Terry, did you have a question that you want to ask?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I didn't know I was unmuted.
That was my hint.
It's okay. We're all friends here.
I got one more question, and I
Sure.
promise
Yeah. Ask all you want.
So if you had a medical condition and you could put one of those buttons on your shirt, and like if somebody wanted to know what your medical condition was, you could read it for them.
You could.
If
You could with
talk to
your
somebody.
phone, not with theirs. So if you're counting
Right.
on the EMT to do it when you're unconscious, it ain't going to work. Okay?
Right. But if you couldn't talk for some reason or something, or I don't know.
Or you can't remember your list of medicines, there's no way I can remember my list of medicines.
Yes.
I have to have it. I have it in my phone. It's a Dropbox, but I think now I'm going to put it on a button and put it on my key ring.
Hey, Neva,
Yes.
did you turn your lights out in your house?
Did they just go out?
Yeah.
Alexa, turn on the office lights.
There you go.
I set a timer and it was not quite long enough. Sorry about that, guys.
Not a problem.
It's all right, Neva.
We're running a little late, so.
That's okay.
And I know you've got another appointment later, so we're going to try and end this up real quick.
Okay.
Any other questions before we have to let her go? Well, I appreciate everyone being here tonight, and please tell your friends to join us for next month, because our guest is going to be Anat. What is her last name here?
Ullman.
Nolman, yes. And she's going to be talking with two guests that she's inviting, and they are. Let me make this bigger so I can see it. Goodness. Myrna Miller and Lorna Straka, and they're
I have
both
a question after all.
and they're both from Blind Shell. Go ahead, Terry.
Maybe I missed it. What was the cost on the sensors, the tags?
Through the VA, free. If you don't want to or don't have a Vist or a Bros, it's worth getting them. But if you want to purchase them, you can go to www.wayaround.com, or in the app you can go down to settings and all the way down at the bottom, and it's shop for WayAround tags, and they cost between $29.99 for 25 round stickers to a maximum of $34.99 for 25 square top way clips. These are the most expensive to manufacture, and so the way clips are the high end and the stickers are the low end.
But the app is free then to download?
That's right.
Okay.
Interesting.
I have one Vist.
What was
Maybe I'll call it.
What was the tag one? I mean, just a sticker, because I have a sticker tag that I put on my bed, and I could just. Was that part of it? Just the sticker? Did I miss that?
I don't know. Do you mean the round sticker or the square sticker?
The round sticker.
Okay. What kind of information do you want to keep up with?
Just naming the product or naming the thing or the object.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that. Unless your bed frame is metal, then it better be a square sticker. And the reason that the square stickers had to be created was NFC antennas are interfered with by metal. And believe it or not, inside this little tiny round sticker that's about the size of a quarter and cardstock thin, there's a tiny little coiled up wire in there that is the NFC antenna. And if it's on metal and there's no barrier or protection, then the phone can't read it. That's why the square stickers have that barrier behind the antenna, between the antenna and whatever it's going to be stuck to, and that way it protects it from the metal and allows it to be read. And I guess I should point out, some of you have probably used label makers that have that tape that has the peel off sticky, and you could lose your religion trying to get that started.
Right.
Well, our stickers are smaller than the wax paper backing they're on. There's like 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch that sticks out around the sticker. So it is super easy to just grab that corner and pull it back, and it comes off easy as pie. Yeah, it does.
Okay, any other questions?
I'm tickled that Blind Shell is going to be here next week. I hope some of you will ask them about. Tell me, how are you? How do you think it works with WayAround?
We'll definitely mention that.
You're allowed to come with us next month too. Please be our
Yes,
guest.
if you'd like to attend.
Well, that's cool of you to invite me. Thank you. I will try. Is it exactly a month from now? Because February and March have matching dates, so it's the same.
It is March the 23rd.
Perfect. 23rd? I don't think so. Really?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not the same Thursday of the month. Okay.
No, yeah, the dates change, but it's usually the fourth Thursday.
Okay. Okay.
And I
Well, I'll
will-
put it on my calendar for the 23rd then. Because, I would love to hear. I have touched one Blind Shell phone in my life, and it was about 5 years ago, and I would really love to hear what's going on with him.
Cool.
Because I really do
Well,
think
that's
it's a
what we're
great
gonna find
option
out.
for people who are afraid of iPhones and Android glass. Flat glass scares a lot of people who are blind.
Yeah.
We're certainly going to put you on a.
They need tactile.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, gentlemen and ladies. I've enjoyed being here. You're a delightful group as always. I'm happy to come back anytime you want me.
Well, we're going to
we'll-
retain you.
that's for sure.
Thank you,
Well,
Neva.
and I wouldn't mind, and I'll just give it to you, Ray, and you can pass it out to the group. If you need technical support, we have an 800 number, but I'd honestly just rather give you my number because then I know who's called. When I get an 800 call, it comes to my phone, but I don't know who it is. And if they leave a message, calling them back is harder because it's not in my recents. So
Right.
anyway, if you have technical troubles, you have other questions, you can call me at 972-897-4171. And that's Central Time. Try to keep it during business hours. If it's a little after, I'm not gonna fuss. It's just that, don't wake me up, okay?
Be respectful, please.
And thank you again for inviting me. God bless.
Thank you. Let's
Thank
give
you
Neva a
for
big
being on.
round of
Hey.
applause.
Great job. Great job. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
so welcome. Thank you all for your service to our country. God bless you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Neva, just hang on for a minute. I'm going to wrap this up. So again, thank you all for showing up for Tech
Scanner
Talk
ready,
Thursday.
press the use one
And
scanner ready,
be
scanner
sure to
ready,
join us
press the
again.
read but speech off.
Be sure to
Sorry.
join us again on March the 23rd, 5:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. And our guest speakers will be Anat Nolman, Lorna Straka, and where'd she go? I had it here a minute ago. Myrna Miller. So, and they're all going to talk to us about, who did I say? Blind Shell. I got so much going on. But I appreciate everybody coming tonight. And don't forget to tell your friends, and please come back again. So without further ado, we're going to sign off for the night. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
See you guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ray, Kelly, Terry, and Keith. Thank you guys very much.